Psychiatry is a wonderfully rewarding profession. Here at the college, we want you to take care of your own health and well-being, as well as support your peers as you progress through training and into your fellowship. As trainees, you are faced with the additional challenge of balancing your training requirements with your career and personal life. Let's take a look at what's helped some of your peers.
So for me, I guess what was really important for support was my family in particular. So they've been huge, and juggling training with a family has been a challenge, but also a real source of support as well. We opted for my husband to stay at home with the kids, so he's been at home for the last 3 and a bit years. And that's enabled me, I guess, to focus on my training a bit.
The services and supports that I've found the most useful, I'd have to say, are my co-registrars more than anything else. But even if you don't have those supports, some of the supports that you'll need to draw on at some stage during your training are your network director of training and your site coordinator of training, or the equivalent in your area.
Another support that I've used and many of my colleagues have used has been having my own psychotherapy. I would highly recommend anyone to get this. Even within mental health, there's often a lot of stigma around getting one's own psychotherapy, but I don't think you need to have a severe mental illness to be able to benefit from psychotherapy, and I would recommend it for anyone.
Started to think about how I was going to plot my trajectory, I guess, over the 5 years, what I wanted to get done when. I planned things quite carefully.
One of the things that I've done that's helped me stay on track through my training program is I've always made sure that I've got 1 or 2 registrars that I keep in contact with that are just 1 or 2 steps ahead of me in training. And I mean just like 6 months or 12 months ahead of me. The reason that I found that really helpful is because I think you often get stuck on any rotation just trying to fulfill the requirements of that rotation and just doing the bare minimum. Keeping in contact with those registrars made me see that sometimes I could actually get a lot more done in those rotations.
When I give advice about how I went through the training program, I often suggest that trainees at the beginning make an appointment to see their director of training to begin a discussion about making a 5-year plan about how to get through all the assessments efficiently and successfully.
We can't change the fact that a career in medicine, particularly one in psychiatry, is going to be stressful. That we look after sick people who don't always get better, that we see horrific sights, and people tell us unspeakable stories. We can't change that we can't fix everybody, and that we're constantly reminded of our own mortality and our own vulnerabilities. We can ensure that we look after ourselves, to ensure that we have enough other things in our lives to buffer any potential adverse events and stressors that come to us.
Incorporating self-care into my daily routine, things that I found the most important were 1, scheduling my meal breaks, scheduling in a coffee break during the day, making sure that I actually took that time.
I find it useful to plan my day so that at the end of the day I can wind down with something either productive or enjoyable at the end of the day. So, review a patient that's doing well, or, speak to a family member.
We need to be constantly mindful of us being human beings. And as human beings, that we experience stressful major life events outside of medicine the same as anybody else.
So I guess all trainees are going to have difficulties throughout their training, and for myself I actually had an injury recently, and so it was really important to actually listen into what was happening for me and how I was managing to balance that, how I was going with my health and well-being and my training commitments and family commitments.
Your supervisor and director of training, as well as other more senior registrars, are there to help you succeed in your training program and are your first point of contact if you are experiencing any difficulties. Your well-being throughout your training is of great importance to the college, and we are committed to promoting a culture where you feel comfortable accessing support services early on. The college website includes a wealth of information on various support services available to doctors, plus self-care information and other interactive online resources. The college also offers the Member Welfare Support Line, which is a dedicated confidential support line available to all members of the RANZCP. All calls are separate to the main college telephone line and are answered by the support manager. If appropriate, you will be put in touch with a support fellow who will be able to provide you with further support and refer you to appropriate services.